I got a message the other day from a relative. And the message said, do this, and then it said action with a colon, action, colon, you do it. You find the time to do something like this. Why are you telling me what to do? My second reaction was to take a deep breath, pause, stop, think, evaluate, and decide unemotionally, what do I do with this information? It made me mad, it made me angry, but what do I do with this information when someone, a relative, is telling me to do something that very easily he or she could have been doing on their own? I paused. And it aligns perfectly with what we're talking about this week. Knowing when it's okay to do nothing, when it's okay to pause for progress. And this might sound rather unusual for me to be talking about doing nothing. Often you'll hear me say things along the lines of it's easy to be, but it's better to become. And becoming takes action. 3 frogs sitting on a log. 3 frogs decide to jump. How many frogs are left on the log? 3, because deciding is different than doing. But what I've learned, and sharing this most people don't philosophy, is once in a while it is okay to do nothing. Going back to this text, I decided to do nothing. My reaction could have been, why don't you do it? Why are you telling me what to do? I could have done that, and that would have stirred up probably more negative conversations. I could have said, certainly I'll do it, no problem. But then I didn't want someone pushing or bullying me into doing something that I didn't feel was the right thing to do. So the last option was I did nothing. The problem, I'll still help with this issue, but by not reacting. And I feel good about it because I've not gotten any more negative comments. I'm actually going around the way of doing what I think is the right thing to do in order to be able to help this person. But the message is it's okay once in a while to do nothing. You've heard me talk about do what most people don't do. Most people don't wake up early to deliberate their day, to set their intentions for the day. Most people don't follow up with rejection. They'll just leave it as, oh, they didn't want me, there's nothing I can do about it. Most people don't prepare for opportunities in advance of them happening. But when we do certain things in those situations, it's going to help us. All the leaders that I've talked to, this is going to be episode, I believe, 181 or 182. So many of the leaders that I've talked to have said being proactive, taking action, doing what most people don't. It all aligns. Most people don't show flexibility. So if we're more flexible, we can get things done. Most people don't give themselves enough grace and pat themselves on the back. But when you do, you can get things done. Most people don't listen intently. But when you do listen, you become a better leader, a better friend, a better collaborator. Sometimes doing nothing can be the best strategy. So when is it okay to do nothing? When is it okay to take a pause? The power of pause in our daily lives. We're all about hustle and speed and instant reaction. But great leaders pause with purpose. A long time ago, probably close to 30 years ago, one of my team members, someone that I was leading, came to me and they said, I have a problem with this competitor. This competitor is doing this and this and this, and they're saying negative things, not only about our product or service, but about me personally. My first reaction was, no way. Let me stand up for you, because I thought that's what being a great team leader meant. Let me stand up for you. Let me protect you. Let me react emotionally. Who said that about you? Let me go take care of it right now. I wanted to get emotionally involved. And I did. I said things to the competition that probably were not as professional as they could have been because they were very highly emotional. Thinking back to that, now what I know, I wouldn't have reacted that way. I believe the person came to me, my team member came to me because they wanted me to listen. I didn't need to solve all the problems. I didn't need to come up with a solution. I needed to pause, be quiet, be present, and listen to what they were saying. Another great leader that I had the pleasure of interviewing, Jim Hadley with Tiber Solutions, shared this. We had been attending a board meeting for a special group for at least once a month for about a year or so. And what I noticed about his leadership when he was facilitating these discussions, he would ask people to go around the room, and these were CEOs and presidents, owners, entrepreneurs often for their own companies. And they would discuss a challenge that I've dealt with recently is X, how to get clients to follow up, whatever the case is. What he encouraged was the rest of the CEOs in this little boardroom setting to not jump to offering solutions, but have you sold so far? Well, Bart, how would you describe the theme of the book? Who is it good for? Who is your target audience? So they went around the room asking questions. He was very specific. Jim was very specific. He didn't want people to automatically offer suggestions or solutions. He wanted them to intentionally pause first. Yes, to ask questions, but to pause. Because doing nothing is a thing. Because doing nothing is actually doing something. Think about an animal that might be in the woods. Think about a deer as an example. And if they're faced with danger, they have three options. Their antlers to attack something that is wanting to attack them. They could fight, step one. They could flee, step two. Or they could freeze. If you've ever seen images of deer in the woods, perhaps around the fall season, when they freeze, they blend in to the background, to the leaves, to the trees, to the forest, and you really can't see them. Sometimes their best option is to freeze, to stop. That is doing nothing, yet it was the right decision to make. MIT Sloan's principle of deliberate calm talks about effective leaders don't just react. They pause, they assess, and they act with measured precision. Cool heads in calm waters, unemotional decision making. I share a story in my book. The title of the chapter, the little story is Silence is Golden and Often Green. You can apply this during any types of negotiation. And you might have heard before the saying, the person who speaks last wins. Imagine we're negotiating, you want to hire me for a speaking engagement, and I confidently state that my speaking fees are $1 billion. And then I wait. If I would say my speaking fees are $1 billion, then I'm not sharing that thought. It is unusual to have perspective. Imagine you are looking for your next promotion because you're doing a great job. Imagine you're asking for the next promotion. And they said, well, why do you think you deserve the promotion? These are all the reasons emotionally of what I've been able to accomplish, the contributions that I've had. These are the reasons why I believe I deserve the promotion. Pause. Sometimes strategic silence speaks louder. We can't assume that action equals progress. There's a quote by always himself and then others through his philosophic statements. He would ask himself, can he speak? Ask yourself these three questions. Is it kind? Is it necessary? And is it true? And if you can't answer yes to all of those three statements, you don't need to share it. Let me tell you specifically about that competitor that was nasty to a team member of mine. They worked for XYZ company, and that person's name was XYZABC. There's no benefit of me sharing that. It's not kind to share that information. It's not. Is it true? Yes, it's true, but it's not kind and it's not necessary. So guess what? I'm not going to say, I'm going to embrace knowing when not to say something. I'm going to embrace knowing when it's okay to do nothing. I hope this helps as you prepare for next week. You're going into the weekend. Think about, how can you choose intentional stillness? How can you enjoy silence? How can you appreciate and give yourself grace that it's okay to pause? I often find on busy days when I have 18 different windows open, I'm recording a podcast, I'm preparing to speak, I'm booking new business for the following months or the following year, I find myself that it's very hard then to just slow down and get to the point where I need to stop. If I'm off my computer, then I feel sometimes that I need to be on my phone. I need to be looking, I need to be learning, I need to be reading or listening to a podcast. And then when I get off of my phone, then I feel like I need to be reading or listening to an Audible book or improving, or what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? And just today, my wife, Terry, said, are you able to take a break today? Because we've been on the road, no exaggeration, almost every single week since the beginning of 2025. And it has been fun and fabulous and fulfilling. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that has selected us and have hired us to come share good stories with you. But it's been tiring. It's been a lot. She asked, would you be able to spend time after recording today's conversation until the next podcast that you're interviewing someone at 4 p.m. today? Are you able to take a break? And my first response was, no, I need to prepare for this. I need to do an online survey. I don't have time. And then she just reminded me, based on this theme, that it's okay once in a while to do nothing, to reset, to pause for progress. I think that's one of the best things that I enjoy whenever I am able to travel and speak to groups, that it is encouraging. It gives individuals the opportunity to hit pause, to stop and think, to write down a game plan, to give yourself grace, to identify your should-dos. Now, the challenge when you return back to the office, back to your environment, back to your home location after these meetings, the challenge always is, well, how can I remember all those things that we talked about? And when I did take a pause, how can I remember to stay focused on those things in a very calm environment when all I had to do was do nothing, to pause, to be present, to be engaged, to soak in the things that we're talking, to take some notes. My mantra, most people don't, but you do. That's my reminder every single day. I'm getting prepared to share things next week, the following week with groups all over the world. So my reminder to keep doing and to stay focused and enact the best principles and lessons that I've learned from all of these leaders that have been on my podcast is to simply do what most people don't. And I'll end with this. Most people don't know when it's okay to do nothing. We don't always need to react. We don't always need to push. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to pause. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to rest, to relax. It's okay to sometimes do nothing. It allows you to listen, be more present, be more engaged, and to learn. We have some other phenomenal information that I want to share before we conclude. Thank you again to all of our listeners, to the support of the podcast. Most people don't, but you do. We consistently rank within the top 2 to 5% of podcasts globally. Final news that I wanted to share, and this is just outstanding. Received notification just yesterday that we have received another lovely recognition as part of the top 100 best business leadership podcasts. Grateful to share that we made 3 separate lists. So we are number 28 out of 100 for top CEO podcasts, number 53 for top inspirational leadership podcasts, and number 33 for top visionary leadership podcast. Other fantastic names that are on this list, we are behind Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty, James Clear, Tim Ferriss, and many others. So grateful that you are listening, that you like. Please continue to share any links, any ideas that we share together, pass them on. There's a lot of craziness and uncertainty in the world, and I know people need to hear good things. Thank you also, especially to millionpodcast.com for the lovely recognition. We are extremely proud.